Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whenever or wherever you're at. Let's talk about politics and why so many people are tired of them. And I don't mean tired like I don't care about the country. I mean tired like exhausted. Tired of every conversation turning into a fight. Tired of every headline feeling like the end of the world. Tired of being told that if you don't agree 100% with one side, then you must secretly belong to the other. Tired of the fake outrage, tired of people pretending every single issue is simple when most of the issues are not simple at all. I'm tired of watching grown adults act like there are only two choices in life: scream for your side or shut up completely. That's where a lot of people are at right now. They're not lazy, they're not dumb, they're not uninformed. A lot of people are just burnt out. And honestly, I get it because politics doesn't feel like politics anymore. It feels like a full time emotional workout that nobody signed up for. You wake up, check your phone, boom, somebody's mad. Turn on the news, somebody's mad. Open social media, everybody's mad. Go to work, somebody's talking about what somebody else said online. Go to a family party, now somehow the conversation's about groceries, and that turns into a debate about the country falling apart. And after a while, people just start checking out. It's not because they don't care, but because they're tired of being dragged into a fight every day. And here's the part nobody wants to admit: both sides help create this mess. The left does it, the right does it, the media does it, social media does it, and regular people do it too. Because we keep feeding the machine every time we react before we think. Now, I know some people are already getting uncomfortable because the second you say both sides, somebody always jumps in and says, nah, my side's different. And that right there, it's part of the problem. Because both sides have people who act like their side is always pure, always correct, always the victim, and always fighting for the good of humanity. I mean, come on, that's not real. That no side has a monopoly on truth. No side has a monopoly on common sense. And no side has a monopoly on bad ideas either. There are people on the far left who act like every problem can be fixed by feelings alone. Like if we just say the right words, avoid every uncomfortable truth, and never hurt anyone's feelings, then somehow society will magically function. And that's nonsense. You can care about people and still admit that the rules matter. You can have compassion and still believe that there needs to be boundaries. You can want fairness and still understand that not every bad outcome is caused by oppression. But then you have people on the far right who act like every problem is fixed by being harder, louder, tougher, and angrier. It's like they think empathy is weakness. Like every person struggling is just lazy. It's like every change in the world is some personal attack on them. I mean, that's not realistic either. You can believe in personal responsibility and still understand that life hits people differently. You can respect law and order and still admit that the system can fail. You can love your country and still be honest about where it needs work. But echo chambers don't want balance. Echo chambers don't want honesty. What they want is loyalty. They want you to clap your hands when your side says something ridiculous. They want you to boo when the other side says something reasonable. And the more you do that, the more tired you become. Because deep down, most normal people know life is not as clean as politics try to make it. Most people are not walking around thinking in perfect party platforms. Most people are thinking, how am I paying my bills? Can I get groceries this week? My kids safe going to school? Can I speak my mind without losing my friends or my job? Why does everything feel so expensive? Why does everybody seem so angry? Why does it feel like nobody in charge is actually listening? That's real life. That's where most people live. But politics often pulls us away from real life and into performance. And that's one of the biggest reasons people are burned out. Because a lot of politics now feels fake. Not all of it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a lot of it. There are real issues, real problems, real consequences, real people being affected, but the way it gets packaged, a lot of it feels fake. It's the fake outrage, the fake shock, the fake moral speeches, the fake, I can't believe this happened, reactions from people who absolutely knew it was going to happen. And then everybody has to act like the latest story is the biggest story in human history. Every day, every issue, every comment, every clip, every single post, everything is treated like an emergency. And when everything's an emergency, nothing feels real anymore. People start tuning out. And honestly, who can blame them? I feel like you can only hear this is the most important moment of your lifetime so many times before you start thinking, didn't you say that last week? Wasn't that the story 2 months ago? That doesn't mean anything anymore. It means people are tired of being emotionally manipulated. And that's what a lot of this is. It's emotional manipulation. Because anger gets clicks, fear gets views, outrage gets shares. Calm conversation, that's going to get ignored. Some of the most reasonable people in the country are probably sitting quietly in their living rooms thinking, this is insane. But nobody hears them because they're not screaming it online. Meanwhile, the loudest person on the left and the loudest people on the right are acting like they represent everyone, and they do not. They just get the most attention, and that's important to understand, because when you only see the loudest people, you start believing everybody's extreme. You start thinking every Democrat hates America. You start thinking every Republican's heartless. You start thinking every liberal is soft. You start thinking every conservative is cruel. And once you start thinking like that, it becomes easier to hate people you don't even know. And that's dangerous. Because once you stop seeing people as people, politics become a team sport with real life damage. And that's where we're at. A lot of people are not just disagreeing anymore. They're looking at each other like enemies. Family members stop talking, friends avoid certain topics, coworkers walk on eggshells. People are afraid to ask questions because one wrong sentence can get them labeled or fired. And here's the crazy part. A lot of people don't even fully believe everything their side says. They just don't want to get attacked from their own people. And that's how echo chambers work. They don't just attack outsiders. They punish people inside the group who ask too many questions. On the left, if you question certain issues, some people act like you're instantly hateful. On the right, if you show sympathy for certain people, some people act like you're instantly weak. That's not conversation, that's control. And most normal people are tired of it. They're tired of feeling like they need a script just to say what they think. They're tired of having to add 10 disclaimers before making one simple point. They're tired of every opinion being turned into proof that they're a bad person. And that's why so many people are politically burned out. Because they're not just tired of the issues, they're tired of the pressure. They're tired of the noise. They're tired of being told that everything has to be a battle. Now, some people are going to say, well, you have to pick a side. And I mean, I get it, I guess. But there are moments where you do have to stand for something. There are issues where sitting on the fence is not enough, but picking a side should not mean turning your brain off. It should not mean defending nonsense. It should not mean pretending your side never lies. It shouldn't mean treating every person who disagrees with you like they're evil. I mean, that's not being informed, that's being trapped. And this is where we need to be honest with ourselves. A lot of people are not actually looking for the truth anymore. They're not, I feel like they're just looking for confirmation. They want the article that proves they were right. They want the clip that makes their side look good and the other side look stupid. They want the post that gives them permission to stay angry. And social media knows it. The algorithm does not care if you're becoming a better person. It does not care if the country's becoming healthier. It does not care if your stress level is through the roof. It cares if you stay on the app. So if anger keeps you scrolling, anger is what you're going to get. If fear keeps you clicking, fear is what you're going to get. If the vision keeps you commenting, the vision is what you're going to get. And after a few months and years of that, people wonder why they feel drained. You feel drained because your brain was never meant to live inside a nonstop argument. Nobody's built for that. You're not supposed to carry every issue, every tragedy, every scandal, every debate, every headline, and every online fight on your shoulders every day. I mean, that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And I think that's the part we need to bring back into politics. Humanity, not softness, not pretending problems don't exist, not acting like all opinions are equally good, but just basic humanity. The ability to say, I disagree with you, but I don't hate you. My ability to say my side might be wrong on this one. You might be able to say, I don't know enough yet. The ability to say, maybe this issue is more complicated than a meme. Because that's where real conversations start. And maybe that's why so many people are tired of politics, because we don't get enough real conversations anymore. We get talking points. We get slogans. We get clips. We get outrage. We get people performing for people who already agree with them. But like real conversation, I feel like in today's day and age, that's rare. And when it happens, it almost feels strange now. Somehow, calmly explaining what they believe is strange. Someone admitting they don't have all the answers is strange. Somebody's saying, I see your point, but here's where I disagree. That is strange now. And that should not feel shocking. That should be normal, because it's not normal right now. And that's why this matters. Because if good people check out completely, the loudest people are going to take over everything. If reasonable people stop talking, unreasonable people set the tone. If normal people walk away from politics because they're tired, then politics becomes controlled by people who enjoy the fighting. And I don't think most of us want that. So maybe the answer is not to obsess over politics every second. And maybe the answer is not to ignore politics completely. I don't know, maybe the answer is to engage without letting it own you. Pay attention, but don't let the news control your mood. Have your opinions, but don't worship them. Call out the other side when they're wrong, but have the guts to call out your side too. And most importantly, remember that the person across from you is probably not as extreme as the version of them you've been shown online. Most people are just trying to live. Most people are trying to raise families, pay bills, stay safe, and make sense of a world that feels like it's moving too fast. So yeah, I mean, people are tired of politics, but I don't think they're tired because they don't care. I think they're tired because they do care. They just don't want to be forced into a constant fight in order to prove it. And maybe that's a real conversation we need to have. Not just who's right and who's wrong, but how do we talk about serious things without turning each other into enemies? Because if we can't figure that out, then the echo chambers win. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of letting the loudest people speak for everybody else. So, with that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.